Put out a grass fire in Clay County. Crews from Euland, Felton, and Hawley were dispatched to this fire around 2 o'clock this morning to the north side of town. No word yet on the cause. And new this morning, fire caused significant damage to the contents of a garage in Grand Forks earlier this morning. It was called in around 1:30 from the 300 block of Cottonwood Drive. Fire crews put out a small fire and are looking for the cause there. A man wanted for attempted murder in Grand Forks is still on the loose this morning. Police say he shot a rifle at a car with a child inside on Sunday, and that it was the third time he had sought out that victim. Police conducted a forced entry into an apartment yesterday afternoon, but they couldn't find the suspect. That prompted a shelter-in-place order yesterday for the north side of the city. The suspect is 25-year-old Omar Martinez. He's being sought for attempted murder and reckless endangerment. 6:50 right now. Let's get a check of your forecast out there. And Lisa Green, you've been tracking a very busy radar all morning.
Yeah, it started up in the middle of the night in that 1-2 o'clock hour, and ever since then we've been seeing a thunderstorm somewhere in the valley, continues in and around the Fargo-Moorhead area, Cass and Clay counties, and then points east as well into places like Bemidji this morning. So let's zoom in a little bit more on these areas. Bemidji again seeing one little lightning bolt. They've been weakening here over the last half hour or so. Still getting some rain showers though. Park Rapids seeing that happening here. Ada's been dealing with some rain, some thunderstorm activity for a while now. That's just starting to push east of town. And then again, in and around the FM Metro, we've had a little downpour pass over the station just a few moments ago here in South Fargo, and more rain and even some thunder north and west of Castleton. They are moving into the Arthur area right along Highway 18 there. So again, conditions are going to be a little unsettled here this morning. If you've got a thunderstorm in the area, just wait for that to pass before you step outside. Here's a look at the latest view. We've got vehicles traveling on I-94 right now in Fargo with that fresh rain that's fallen and likely continuing to fall. Nice to see those headlights on still this morning in that rain. And taking a look at our current conditions, we've got temperatures that are pretty warm. We're into the 50s, we're into the 60s in the valley. Fargo right now is at 68 degrees with those showers going on. The wind isn't super strong. We're looking at wind speeds out of the south in general and less than 15 miles per hour. We're at 64 in Fergus Falls, Bemidji at 62 degrees currently. And so as we're stepping out here today out to the bus stop, again, make sure there's no thunderstorms in the vicinity with temperatures that are on the warm side to start this afternoon. You see it here for Fargo. We're looking at temperatures approaching 90 degrees, maybe even surpassing that at 3 p.m. right around 90 degrees with some partly cloudy skies. So another hot day today for kids stepping off the bus. And there may even be some thunderstorms starting up at that point, but it's more beyond that time into dinner time, into the later evening hours that we have better chances for rain developing and thunderstorm activity again tonight. So a high of about 92 degrees today in Fargo. If we get to that number, that would tie the record. That's just how warm we've been lately. Actually, I should say hot we've been lately. Now heading into Wednesday, big dip in temperatures will be in the 60s and 70s in most areas. So kind of stepping it back here for Wednesday, but just in time for the Memorial Day weekend. Feeling like summertime for that start of summer that people often consider for that holiday weekend. Chances for rain and thunder each day through Sunday. For the holiday itself, if you're heading out to an event or memorial site, it's looking dry at this point with temperatures that are going to be on the warm side. Okay, yeah, all very warm in summer like on the 11th day there, Lisa. Thank you. 6:53 right now. A Bismarck police officer is fired after a department investigation into claims that he used excessive force. The department says that Officer George Huff was the first officer to respond to a pedestrian on the road on March 9th and then detained a 63-year-old man. Assisting officers notified administrators that force was used. Police are not releasing any other details at this time. New this morning, the Minnesota legislature is adjourning for the year, wrapping up just a few hours before its midnight deadline. It marks the end of a consequential session where newly empowered Democrats passed a slate of progressive policies with wide-ranging impact. Lawmakers sent the last piece of the next 2-year, $72 billion state budget, a $2.6 billion infrastructure package, and $300 million in emergency funding for nursing homes to Governor Tim Walz's desk for his signature. Democrats call this session transformational, but Republicans say it was disappointing and out of step with Minnesotans. GOP leaders are criticizing both the speed with which Democrats pass significant policy and the onslaught of tax increases that are poised to become law.
Meanwhile, Governor Walz says the work done over the last 5 months will make a generational impact on Minnesota. One of the new laws is that New State Cannabis is the website, now online. It will help explain what is changing when the new legal recreational marijuana law goes into effect. Governor Walz is expected to sign the bill into law sometime this week, although we haven't yet heard when. That bill includes a 2-pound possession limit, a 10% tax rate on cannabis as well. Possession would be legal starting on August 1st. West Fargo voters will officially be weighing in this September on a more than $133 million proposal for public schools. The vote last night from the West Fargo School Board was unanimous, citing the district's projected growth of 400 to 500 students per year for at least the next 5 years. A task force had been meeting since February to hash out the specifics of what exactly they're requesting. They settled on $133.4 million. It would pay for things like a new elementary school and the expansion of South Elementary School, along with the expansion of Heritage Middle and Horace High Schools. The board plans to hold community events this summer to promote the upcoming election. Police in 3 Valley communities are now looking for answers after 3 bodies were discovered in just 3 days. All of them were found in water. The most recent discovery was that of a man floating in this retention pond in the 3500 block of Main Avenue in Fargo yesterday morning. The body is being sent to the UND Forensic Lab to determine the cause and the identity of the person. In Moorhead, police are now identifying the body of a man found in the Red River over the weekend as 53-year-old Harold Anderson, who was reported missing on April 23rd. Autopsy results indicate that he died of drowning, no evidence of injury or trauma. Anderson's body was discovered on Sunday afternoon near the banks of the river along the walking path in Gooseberry Park. Police say the body had been in the water for an extended amount of time and the investigation is still active. Anyone with information about Anderson's death is urged to call police. And the FBI and the Bureau of Indian Affairs are now taking over the death investigation of a man found dead on the shore of Devil's Lake late Sunday night. They say the body appeared to have been in the water for quite some time before it was discovered. It's a whistleblower story that we brought you last week, and the investigation continues to unfold. A nonprofit and 2 couples were left picking up the pieces after a Grand Forks restaurant closed. Bigfoot Bar and Grill shut its doors earlier this year, and many people are now looking to get in touch with the owner to get their money back. But many of them have not been successful. The Valley Today's Nishay Taylor is live in our newsroom with details on this investigation. Nishay, you've really done some digging into this case.
Good morning, Jordan. Yes, it's a very unfortunate situation, but Andrea Peltier says her fiance proposed to her last March on her birthday. But nearly a year after that proposal, she found out that the wedding she had planned was not happening. Peltier says that she had to cancel her wedding completely after Bigfoot closed its doors. She too paid her deposit to Bigfoot to schedule all of her wedding plans. Peltier says she learned from her wedding DJ that Bigfoot was closing. She later found out that there was never an event actually scheduled for the day of her wedding, which was supposed to be next Saturday.
I'm really frustrated and I'm mad. Besides obviously being really upset that my day was canceled and that something that I thought would be so perfect and that I didn't have to worry about turning to be a disaster.
Yeah, Peltier said that she is taking action. She's working with the Attorney General's office to help mediate the situation between her and the owner of the restaurants. Now, meanwhile, a nonprofit organization has also been impacted, and that's the North Dakota Association of the Blind. They lost out on nearly $800 because of this situation, and they too are working with the Secretary of State's office. They filed a complaint on this situation to potentially, hopefully, get some mediation with this as well. Reporting live in the newsroom, Nishay Taylor, Valley News Live.
Okay, Nishay, thank you. Our VNL investigation leading to more people now coming forward. We'll continue to follow this as it develops. Thank you. In our consumer alert this weekend, the TSA will kick off the upcoming busy summer travel season. Travel habits are getting back to normal after the pandemic, and the agency is taking big steps to keep wait times at airport security down. The TSA is using new technology like digital IDs, plus all minors can now use TSA PreCheck if their parent or guardian is in the program. That's up from just kids 12 and under that it used to be. Those changes will hopefully help you and your family get through the ticket gate a little faster.
So really important change. If you have a teenager, you're a PreCheck member, your teenager can travel with you through PreCheck, and just double check to make sure that the PreCheck symbol is on their boarding pass, electronic or paper.
And TSA employees are now getting paid at the same scale as other federal employees. The Today Show and CBS Mornings are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on the CW. Otherwise, stay dry out there and have a great Tuesday.